Welcome to the channel. I'm James, and today we're looking at the Roblox Corporation, ticker symbol Rblx. They have just released earnings, and we're going to be going through these numbers right now, then giving my fair value based on discounted free cash flow models and the Buffett-Graham intrinsic value. Is this stock a buy or a sell? So the market has reacted quite poorly to the earnings, down almost 13% to $63 a share. Before market close, it was up 7% the day to $73 a share. So the market has not liked earnings one bit. If we just touch upon some of the higher points here, Roblox misses on Q4 earnings despite revenue jumping 84%. Roblox reported its Q4 earnings on Tuesday, missing top and bottom line despite revenue jumping 83% year over year. Here are some of the big numbers that are compared to what Wall Street was expecting. Revenue did not beat expectations. 568 million compared to 604. Bookings were also lower than expected, 770 million to 786, and the loss per share was obviously worse as well, 25 cents a share compared to 11. So let's have a look at these numbers right now. We have the 3 months ended on the left side and the 12 months ended on the right. So firstly, let's have a look at revenue. You can see revenue was up massively, as the news article said, 310 million to 568 million. So that is definitely good news. And for the entire year, almost doubled. In fact, almost a billion on there, 923 million. Sorry, if it was billion, this would definitely be a buy. 923 million compared to 1.9 billion. So almost doubled. But if we just look a little bit lower here to the net income, you can see it's negative. How do we get net income? Revenue minus all of the costs. Where are the big costs here? Cost of revenue is very, very high. We'll just look at the 12 months here. Almost $500 million. Developer exchange fees, about the same, both up massively from the year before. Infrastructure and trust and safety up again. Research and development doubled. General administrative up massively, and sales and marketing up just a little bit. So 2.4 billion in total costs and expenses. Almost all of them have actually doubled, and you can see there it was about 1.2 billion in the year before, and that gives us the net income, which is to shareholders, minus 491 million, lower than what it was in 2020, which was minus 235 million. And if you look at the quarters as well, December 21 was almost 3 times higher than December 2020. So they are spending a lot to get this revenue. That is something that they're going to have to change very, very quickly if people are going to be interested in this stock. The next thing, what we want to do is look at the shares outstanding. Roblox haven't actually issued more shares, so that would be a good news. But let's quickly go to the free cash flow statement. They've got a very nice section here that kind of just sums everything up. So this is the net income from operating activities minus capital expenditures, which is acquisition of properties and equipment and purchases of tangible assets. So what are they doing? Well, they've got operating activities on the quarter actually lower than what it was in December 2020, 179 million compared to 122. And they spent a little bit less, but still 120 million compared to 77. But if we look at the entire year, operating income for 2020 was 524 million compared to 659, and they have actually spent slightly less on purchasing property equipment and intangible assets, which gives them a free cash flow of 557.9 million, 100 million of course. So things are looking a little bit better there. So let's jump into my discounted free cash flow analysis. This calculates the future free cash flows of Roblox. These are pretty timid estimates, we'll say. And let's see what this gives us a value as. Well, around about $31 a share, which would be at about a 50% discount, as the stock currently is around about 65. So this is steadily increasing free cash flow. They're going to get to $1 billion probably by 2026. If you're a bit more bullish on the numbers, we'll just change one of the values here and increase these. Say they're able to get up there. Still $46 a share, and this is them jumping up massively. If we get the revenue growth rate a bit higher, because they are a fast-growing company, they would have to be about fairly valued, and that would be with them having 2.2 billion free cash flow in 2025. So that's where the stock is based on discounted free cash flow, but discounted free cash flow models usually don't like these higher growth, faster growing textile companies. But interest nonetheless, if you're looking for free cash flow as an estimate, they would probably need steady free cash flows from 2022 onwards, and that would give them about a fair value where it is right now. In fact, a bit higher because the stock is dropping. Based on the Buffett Grimm intrinsic value, unfortunately, this will give us a dud value because they have negative earnings per share. This is only a good metric if they're positive. So I will use this again if the stock becomes a profitable company and start generating earnings per share. But as we saw from the article and looking at the financial statements, they are still a bit away from that. The models are really not saying it's a buy right now. They still have a lot more free cash flow to generate and they need to become profitable. But if you are like speculating on these kind of companies, then this is probably a good time to buy, hence because of the 14% dip. If you actually look at the chart, you can see this is pretty much not the lowest it's been since its IPO, but up until Feb or Jan was the lowest it was, about 57. So that would have been a good buying opportunity there. It did rise up. We haven't seen it at 63, basically for this drop right now. So what I want to do is have a look at some of the technical indicators. Let's just get some moving averages up firstly. They're sort of what you can look at in terms of the 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day. So we'll add the 50-day right now, and we'll change to the yearly chart. So what are we seeing initially? Well, this is below the 50-day moving average quite a bit, which is a bearish sign. Next, we're going to be adding the 100-day. I'm going to put this in yellow. I imagine this is going to tell us a very similar story. And yes, and what is another negative here? Well, the 50-day has crossed below the 100-day, which is known as one of the death crosses. So that is negative. And finally, on the 200-day, what is this telling us? Probably a bit of a bearish story again. And yes, so the 200-day, obviously not much data here on the 200-day because the stock has only been around since early March. And it looks like the 50-day moving average is about to cross below the 200-day, which is another death cross. Next, what we want to do is look at the MACD, which is the moving average convergence divergence. So let's get a MACD on here. So momentum on the stock is actually looking quite good based on MACD. The signal lines crossed about here, which would have been your buy signal, and momentum is still going up. But what is negative about this? Well, the MACD and signal line are below the zero line, which is a bit bearish. And we are going to have some negative movement based on this post 63. If we look what's Roblox really done in its short history, it was very bullish here. That would have been your buy signal, and it would have been another buy signal there. And you should have sold at about this point here. So if you sold there, you would have sold or shorted the stock at 116, and then you'd be more interested again recently. So MACD has been a pretty good indicator on this short amount of time that the stock's been around. And finally, let's have a look at the RSI, which is the Relative Strength Index. This says if the stock's in overbought or oversold regions. Currently, it's about even on the daily line. And be interesting to see once there's updates, but it was in the oversold regions previously, which would have been a good idea for a buy. Roblox had never been that low previously. And if we look at the weekly and rather than the daily, this will be a lot shorter data. I understand that, but you can see it was in the oversold region and now trending back to normal. So technicals are probably saying it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. The moving averages don't like it. The MACD says it's got some bullish momentum, but RSI is saying it's trending towards oversold. Right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give a like on it, and I'll catch you guys next time.